Merci, Dr. Ray is a bit of an odd comedy. It's a bilingual film mixing in French and English throughout the entire movie, which you would assume they would have subtitles for the French part, but they don't. Luckily for me, I watched this movie on YouTube and the closed captioning translated the French for me, but like, what the hell, movie? I guess there are some versions of this movie that do have subtitles, but it's just like, why wouldn't you have every copy have subtitles in them? Because it's not even like the English parts had subtitles in the version I watched. So if you speak French and you're watching this movie, you'll be able to follow the French parts, but then not the English parts. The movie is about this guy named Thomas, who's a closeted gay man living in France who hasn't even come out to his own mother yet. Thomas has been telling his mom that he's been dating this woman named Linda, and the mom asks some questions that every mother would.
So, is she pretty at least? Prettier than me?
Ah, yeah. Freud's gonna have a field day with that one. So Thomas has been meeting up with these random men, and he actually starts talking to this older guy who wants to pay Thomas for him to sit in a closet and watch the older man go to the bone zone. No, guys, come on! This is supposed to be a subtle metaphor. The two men start to undress and start doing exactly what you would expect them to do. Dance.
If you go away, if you go away, if you go away.
Or maybe this is just what the director thinks gay sex looks like. But things start to get a little kinky when the younger man pulls out a knife and kills the older guy.
Turn again. If you ever
Ah, come on, man. That's not the 3 inches he wanted in the back. So Thomas leaves and does not call the cops, which is always a smart thing to do when leaving a crime scene that you are innocent to. So the next day, Thomas's mom tells Thomas that his dad, who he thinks has been dead his entire life, is actually alive, but
He was killed last night in his apartment. A sordid robbery. He was stabbed in the back.
well, I'm happy this movie didn't do the Uno reverse with the Oedipus story. Now, at this point in the movie, we are introduced to this character named Penelope, who's in a therapy session with Dr. Ray. Oh my god, that's the woman in the title! And this therapy session is not going well.
Do you know, Dr. Ray, sometimes I wish you were dead.
And Dr. Ray's like, okay, bet, and dies.
Dr. Ray, Dr. Ray, Dr. Ray, get up. Dr. Ray, I wasn't speaking serious. I wasn't serious. It was just a joke. It was just words. But hey, get up, Dr. Ray.
And of course, this is when Thomas walks in trying to find Dr. Ray for a therapy appointment, but Thomas has never met Dr. Ray, so...
Le Dr. Ray.
Oui. Oui, oui, oui.
They do a whole therapy session and Thomas doesn't see the dead body under the table. Damn, that is really stupid. So does this build up and Penelope acts like Thomas's therapist and at the end of the movie we get the big liar reveal trope? No. Yeah, no, at the end of this session Penelope's just like, yo, yeah, I'm actually not Dr. Ray.
I have a confession to make. I am not Dr. Ray.
Okay, I guess I'm happy you're not being cliched at least. Penelope thinks that she killed Dr. Ray, but Thomas looks at the body and he's just like, oh no, yeah, you see this bottle in her hand? This is for heart problems.
She took this, she had heart trouble. My grandmother took it too.
And that's sort of it. Like, they don't call the cops again for some reason. Penelope and Thomas become friends and they try to help each other in their quests throughout the movie, but there's like a lot of buildup here for not a lot of payoff. And this is a problem throughout the entire movie. Like at one point, Thomas makes weed brownies and his mom accidentally eats them and nothing happens. But then the mom gives these brownies to cops and nothing happens. There's one point where the mom calls the last phone number that Thomas called because she thinks he's been kidnapped. The last place Thomas called was this public phone, and these 3 random guys answer it and decide to prank the mom by saying that they do have Thomas and they want a ransom for him. Just to be clear, Thomas is just dicking around France, and all of this that's going on has nothing to do with the main plot. So the mom meets up with these men who then reveal that all of this has just been a prank, and then the mom starts shooting at them. And while that is quite bizarre, it isn't this like big laugh in the movie. You're just sort of like, oh wow, yeah, that was a bit extreme. And you just sort of move on from it. And that's most of this movie. Things just sort of happen and don't really flow together. Honestly, the only consistent thing in this movie is that Thomas is trying to find who killed his dad. Eventually, Thomas finds the killer, who explains that him and Thomas's father were lovers and Thomas's dad had actually just broken up with him. The father was gonna give the killer some money just so he would go away, but then someone else came in and gave more money to the killer so he would murder the father. But before the killer can tell Thomas who paid all the money for his father to be murdered, there's a knock on the door and Thomas is forced to hide in the closet, which again is still a very subtle metaphor. So who is the person that paid to kill Thomas's father?
The cafe yesterday. I'm sorry. Look, now is not a good time.
Oh my god, the mom did it? No way. Huh. You know, maybe with the dead dad's body, the mom can finally party like a rock star, just like Dennis Quaid. So the cops barge into the apartment and Thomas decides to cover up the murder.
Before he died, my father looked up at me and said, Dr. Ray. Cherchez la femme.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know why Thomas is covering up all of this. That would be nice to get explained. And at the end of this scene, the cast decides to break the fourth wall and take a bow. Which this is the first time this movie has ever referred to itself as a movie, which is just very weird. I will say there is a subplot that involves the theater, and one character at one point says that this is just a show, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think that absolves you of this weird ending to this scene. And I say weird ending to a scene and not movie because there is still one final scene here.
I'm going to miss you. Merci, Dr. Ray.
Guys, you can't have the cast like sort of take a bow, drop the curtains, and then continue on the movie. You can't try to establish this movie as grounded again after doing something like that. Overall, this was just sort of a weird, generic movie that didn't really connect in any way or build up to anything. I would also be pretty mad if I didn't watch this movie with subtitles. Like, I don't know why they just didn't do that. So sorry, Dr. Ray, but I have nothing to thank you for, but luckily you are not alone there because our next movie is in the same boat, Hard to Kill.